Happy Groundhog Day to all of you who celebrate such things. I don't think there's actually any of you that do, but we're going to throw code ZMOT in that creator boost. I make sure to renew it every Friday. That way I don't forget. Warships, this is going to be one of those mega long all-encompassing videos where we start out by getting our submarine diving, then we get into 3 tech trees and lasertrons and operation attacks and imitation game, and talk about the state of Boom Beach. First and foremost, always destroy those NPCs as often as you can remember. It drastically helps your task force. Even if you're not a task force player, it helps you get more free resources. Also, that supply chest is a great way to get some extra shards. Let's jump on into warships though, and this warship saved my season. Not because it's in rank 19, that's not even, it's like average right now. So this one, I just said screw it. I spent some diamonds and did this. Absolutely ditched all defensive boosts, went full offense. 80% troop health, 80% troop damage, 0% everything else. That's why it's not up there, stating the obvious, Zed. So you can see, don't have artillery, don't have rifles or tanks or shock launchers or shock bombs or shock mines, and I haven't seen anyone who has 0% building health. It is very rare. If you're rocking that, please do let me know. Would love to see it. Went up and got the extra troop damage because I figured what the heck, and the results have been awesome. It has made this game very fun because, as you can see by Bond's daddy, my base is not doing well. You have to be so fast to beat your opponents, and that added pressure has been super fun. It's way better than, oh, I have to get 3% more than my opponent. So I'll show you my attacks here. 249, just absolutely screaming through bases. Any base that doesn't have 80% building damage, I have been using battle orders and just rushing through it, trying to shorten the number of engine rooms I have to go to because you just don't have time to get to another engine room. It's crazy. Just crazy fast. Against leader, similar sort of thing. Basically, if they don't have 80% building damage, and I wish their boost showed up here instead of my boosts, we're just rushing as fast as we possibly can, trying to use both ramps as much as possible, and then clearing mines using our barrage, and that is required because of that sky shield. So when possible, barting out an engine room, and otherwise just trying to get onto all of the things as fast as possible. So Kron Paul is a fantastic player. Shout out to Kron Paul, I guess is probably the better way to say that. Anyways, my replay, I want to show you this because I typically don't show people's names that I just try not to show people's names that I recognize, but this season I feel like it's just all names that we all recognize every single hit. So shout out to Kron. You notice that I am using Iron Will here, and this hit so far is there's nothing fancy about this. It's gonna come in a second here though. This hit, I actually thought of something different, mixed it up a little bit, and I'll show you why in a second here. So right about now, all of our troops are just doing boring stuff. They're gonna go through all of this stuff, then they're gonna turn right and they're gonna go over there, and it's gonna be based on the speed of Zuka's walking, and they're gonna have to walk all the way. So instead we flare the machine gun, and I did it like half a second early. Would have been slightly better if that machine gun was gone, but now we get this beautiful split, and our troops go onto 2 engine rooms at the same time, and everyone is happy that one heavy saves all our Zukas, and bada bing, bada boom. Good things. And notice people are getting 2 minutes, they're getting 2:15, they're getting 2:22. Bald had a rough hit trying to go fast. That is the only time people fizzle, is because they know, like, as soon as you see your opponent's boosts, you know you gotta go fast, like really fast. So I think I did the same thing against Bald, where I think I had the magical split flare. We'll find out here in a second. Again, I've copied Bald's bases a ton. So shout out to Bald, great player, and just using our GBE to clear mines. And then little bit of smoke here, I do think. Nope, getting that same flare, that same split. I'm not sure if they have the same base, those two guys, but nonetheless, getting that beautiful split. And I have not attacked in 12 hours. There's going to be a lot stronger 5 engine room players. I'll show you that in a second on my other account, because players who went through shock launchers and shock mines and building health are all now jumping into 5 engine rooms. So some of those attacks were against 80% building health bases. I think many of them actually were. Doesn't matter though, can still bard out an engine room even without the GBE node. So as predicted, not a lot of people picking the GBE nodes, so I have raised it with Supercell. I think that those choice nodes should not have GBE in them. There should be GBE in the tree like there was last season. Would love to hear your thoughts on that. Now, these Friday videos last week did not announce any new prizes, which felt wrong. This week, we're gonna get back to the well. That is right, I have managed to dig up one of these t-shirts. This is the last one, like the last one. So I will announce a prize slightly later on in the video. And if you're wondering why it has to be later on, it's just because that way you guys keep watching. We're gonna go same thing. I am keeping on going with the 3 boats of heavies. This is one of the first shock launchers I've faced at the 5 engine room level, so I'm not really sure how this is gonna go. That's why we're gonna use Iron Will. They have no defensive building damage though, so we're gonna get back. I told you we're gonna stick with battle orders. Battle orders gets better separation between our Zookas and our heavies, so we're gonna stick with that. Now, here is the important detail. We're gonna put our heavies on the left. That is important because it gets our Zookas onto that machine gun. It also keeps our whatever the heck they're called, it keeps that boom cannon away from our Zookas. We get way more value as a result. 1 and 2 on there, and I hold this right hand side for once that's gone, so that heavy gets onto those right hand side mines. And now it's just a matter of clearing some mines, getting a bunch of these mines cleared, and battle orders, just like Beetlejuice, getting our troops a nice split. Come on, some of you go to that right, get that shock mine working for us. That would be absolutely fantastic. That shock mine is going to save this hit, and I didn't even see your doom cannon there, but we should still be able to absolutely and utterly walk through this base. Their shock mine placement helped us in a big way. That shock launcher is still locked in on that heavy. We've got troops going both directions, and now we could throw a smoke if we really wanted to, but I don't think it's going to be required. I think that our Zookas are going to get onto that. We're going to get the battle orders right now and just walking through the base. Yes, they had shock launchers, but we are still going to get about 2 minutes 30 seconds or so. 2 minutes 30 exactly, even with 2 shock launchers and a doom cannon, and they pulled out a 213. So Valor Ghost, a great player, but choosing offense is a great way to go. I am having way more fun. So if you're finding this season to be stagnant and slow and boring, give this a go. It will keep your troops alive. You'll lose fewer troops. You'll spend less time if you don't have instant training waiting for troops to load. Lots of fun. Another way to have fun at Warships, as I showed you, is to use 120% GBE. In case it was not clear, I am all about the offensive boosts this season. Loving it, loving it. I'll show you a defensive in a second, but for now, using the trolling, ridiculous artillery style attack. And now, as you can see here, I was in gold. And what happens is I nudge my stars up a little bit when I have warriors loaded, and then what happens, I run out of warriors, and then I start loading things like grenadiers or zookas. So if you actually care about your rank on your account, which this account I don't, this account is just for fun and silliness and getting those chests, stick with warriors. And probably Iron Will. I'll show you how I've been attacking now. At this point in the season, getting to gold in 3 engine room is tough. You need to stop matchmaking, otherwise you're going to get a 3 or a 4 or a 5. Now we need to get underneath that sky shield, and we need to get underneath that sky shield in a big way. Shouldn't be a big deal though. What we're going to do is we're going to get Brick out front, one of you guys out front, and then all of this stuff, getting a smoke and a flare and getting all of our troops right about there. And then once that's done, 1, 2, 3, 4 over there, and Brick is going, because we only have 120% GBE, we don't have any offensive boosts as far as troop health or troop damage. We need to use Iron Will in a big way. Gonna get that flare, gonna get this artillery out, and we have picked up the easy win and haven't lost that many troops in the process. It's amazing when you don't screw things up how long your warriors can last. People against my base have been very quick. This person not gonna be super quick. We sadly have likely kept them out of gold. That's the part about this whole silly, ridiculous account that I'm not a big fan of, is when we crush people's hopes and dreams. So King Martin Zalfa, sorry dude, didn't let you get into gold, but on the plus side, other people are beating me in a big way, and I'll show you my loss when I fell out. I think I just straight up retreated here. So yeah, I tried my darndest, and this is one of the good things about actually matching a 4, is that I get a little bit of practice about what's gonna happen once we get into 4. And yes, I am gonna take this account into 4 eventually, and just that short of the engine room, so close. So once I have enough keys, I am gonna move this account into 4 engine rooms, but I want to be able to get that node and the shocks and the shock bombs, and I'm gonna move once I have all of the stuff, not right now. And I'm probably gonna have to switch one of these nodes at the very least to troop health or troop damage. And as you can see there, only 17 diamonds at the moment. So if you're looking for 29 diamonds a day, Kindergarten 9 is your answer. 412 intel. Dirty nugget, turd ferg, well done. That is ridiculous. Let's see if we can make a spot for somebody. And this seems cutthroat, but it's the only way you can keep your task force doing well. Look for people with low operation attacks, low intel, send them a warning, and then if they don't pick up their act, give them the boot. Everyone here looks pretty darn good, so we'll leave it in. Do keep an eye on it though. Jump on my Discord, which always welcome. Flying through things today. We've got an operation attack on deck. I got carte blanche to do whatever the heck we want. Forlorn Hope with 11 attacks left. Chimera, likely that is 1 or 2 attacks at the very most. So, Strategize, I assume, is dead. Yeah, Strategize is 0 to 1 attacks. And then Waterloo, let's see if we can use these silly laser tanks, lasertrons, sorry, to just weaken up this base a little bit. Now, I've seen a couple people using Scorchers still on operations. Reminder that mechs, since they've been fixed, are absolute beast troops for operation attacks. Now, I'm going to go ahead and boost strictly for the views, for the lols, but there is no reason to boost for this operation at this point. But I figure that, like yesterday, I probably could have soloed Humble Pie in Dead End with Lasertrons and mechs, but I didn't boost. So today we're going to boost and hopefully solo Waterloo in the most ridiculous fashion possible. So, by the way, what happened here? Someone ate one cell. I'm very curious about that. Let's go like this. All of the Lasertrons and Everspark. Everspark, of course, for her beautiful critters. And then in a couple seconds here, as we start to get closer, we're going to drop some of those mechs. I love Lasertrons. They are different from Laser Rangers. They do friendly fire. Be aware, you need to be a little bit more careful about their placement. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad day. And how you can tell they do friendly fire is any troop that clears mines does friendly fire. So you got to be a little bit extra careful with these dudes. On War Factory yesterday, I ended up having Lasertrons on both sides of the core, and very bad things happened as a result. Don't recommend that at all, but in this instance, no chance that's going to happen. So now our mechs are going to get out front. They're going to get shot in the face. Those critters are going to keep our mechs alive, and we are going to use all of our barrage on those left-hand side rocket launchers. Yes, they have 180,000 health or something ridiculous like that, but we have the beautiful and talented, our barrage damage tribe. That is how we're going to get rid of those guys as our mechs get out front and start shocking all of the things. Was using our GBE on the rocket launchers a good idea? Probably not, but we do have people following us. I am not counting on a solo, so by doing this, we have a way better chance of our next person losing fewer troops. And I can't stress this enough. I have been in so many random task forces and watched so many random player operation attacks, and people don't think about that next player. The number one advice I can give you as far as operation attacks is help the next player. Don't throw barrage at the building directly in front of your troops. Throw it far away. Help your teammates out. We've gotten rid of those rocket launchers, and now this core is basically wide open from the right-hand side. So we are not going to finish this base, I don't think, especially if that right-hand side Lasertron gets in range of that mortar. But we can still do all sorts of good stuff. You notice now that our Lasertrons do dumb things. They target the most damage defense, even though it puts them in range of those boom cannons. Very common with the proto troops. There is no logic as far as avoiding defenses, only as far as which defense to shoot. So I would love to see some of that logic brought into offensive troops. I would also love to see some logic brought into defensive troops, kind of like tower defense, where you could choose to attack, like imagine a SEMO, but you could tell it to attack the most damaged, or the most offense, or the most health, or anyways, you get the basic idea. It's probably never going to happen. I would not choose to have the developers' time put towards that. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a great idea, but I would not choose that over Task Force versus Task Force. Don't get me wrong. Or friendly challenges in warships, or replays in warships. I am not that crazy. Yes, I think it would be cool if we had unlimited budget and unlimited developers. But just a reminder, that is just me pipe dreaming. And I've had a couple of you who keep commenting saying we need an update, we need an update, we need an update. When HQ26, we need an update, we need an update. Just a reminder, March is the 10th anniversary of Boom Beach. They have talked about or hinted about an update coming. Whether or not that will be a big, huge, massive one or not, we'll have to wait and find out. One other quick note is that this tribe right here, this mortar attack speed tribe, does not work. And one of the things that's terrible about it is that it makes it look like if we were to scout, for example, and Elbow Room hopefully has a mortar, you'll notice that Elbow Room suddenly has building attack speed 30%. That's just a visual glitch. Don't worry. I have measured it frame by frame, and mortars still fire at approximately 5 to 5.2 seconds per shot. So it looks silly. It looks like you've done yourself disservice by boosting that tribe, but it does absolutely nothing. And why I boosted that was A, to check against our opponents, and B, to see how fast ours work. Now, I can't prove that ours don't work, and the reason for that is because Lasertrons absolutely crush bases. So you'll see that Squiggles McArabic here comes through our base, and our mortar does get off one shot. And at this point, I was super hopeful that we were going to be able to time how fast a mortar shoots, and then Squiggles, King, Queen, whatever, threw the old-fashioned shock, and then my mortars never got another shot off. They got one occasionally, but never two, simply because they absolutely crushed my base using Lasertrons. So, kind of like in Brawl Stars, when a new brawler comes out and it's ridiculously overpowered, I love Proto Troops being overpowered. They build some hype, they build some excitement, they make people want them, and then they balance them, or they go away for another year, or whatever the heck it may be. So when it comes to voting at the end of this month, please do consider voting for Lasertrons. I would love to have them in the Proto Crab at the end of the year. Now, I was going to do Imitation Game on this account, but the other one's boosted, so let's just jump around, shall we? Okay, Imitation Game, using all Lasertrons all of the time. Now, Lasertrons are one of the slowest troops in Boom Beach. Of course, I think they're the same speed as Zookas, I do believe. Nonetheless, we are going to drop them on Imitation Game and absolutely hammer it. It is full on hammer time. Let's get in. We'll use GBE as fast as we can because Imitation Game is still bugged. It needs an update. The cycle of weekly, whatever the heck it's called, cycle of evil, needs an event update in a big way. Imitation Game is a complete and utter joke at this point. The fact that there are no critter launchers, it's so stale. So Supercell, if you're thinking about, remember how I said if we had unlimited dev time? This needs a refresher. Warships is doing great. It definitely needs some of the update cycles because just to keep it good, keep it live, keep it exciting, but the main base, these events are ridiculous. For mid-level players, you're probably still doing Dr. T every day. I can't remember the last time someone in one of our task forces shared a replay of Dr. T. Imitation Game, War Factory, still fairly interesting, but even it needs a refresher in a big way. We're going to leave all of our GBE behind, just keep throwing out critters. No artillery on this one, using 3x mode. Love 3x mode. Would like to see it on warships, but the fact that you end up not being able to attack because of 3x mode weirdness means probably not. Just silliness here. Now, as far as that prize, where is that prize? Other prize right there, that t-shirt. If you want to win a Boom Beach t-shirt, you need to comment with 2 song names. Actually, one song name that I have dropped either in this video or in previous videos that you've had to correct me on many times. I am one of those people who unconsciously mentions song names, and then as soon as I've mentioned it, I recognize it and want to go on YouTube and find that song and either watch the video or just play it in the background. I really wish I could set up an AI bot that would autoplay songs anytime I mentioned them. That would be rad. And actually, you know what? I could actually do that. But we're not going to do that. We're going to carry on forwards and try to avoid the DMCA, whatever the heck it's called, YouTube police. So 7 stages, imitation game, ridiculous. But those of you who stuck around for imitation game get input on how to win that sweet, sweet shirt. And speaking of defense, this is my account here. You can see that I'm just not enjoying it. 16 hours since my last attack, and before that, 24 hours. So not playing this account much. I was in 19. I've made it as far as 9. I wish this down here, by the way, showed your top rank, like 19.91 as opposed to 19.991. Find it would be a little bit more useful perhaps, but I guess we can go back into here. I was in the top 5 of the task force and then it all fell off. So there we go, 19.51. And as far as the parking, which isn't a factor right now, that puts us starting next season at rank 10. Obviously there's 16 days left, let's not talk about that. But we'll do some tanking, and this is gonna be, we're gonna lose. So far, all of our attacks so far have been wins. They have been fun. We won our heavy Zuka attack against Valor Ghost. We won our artillery attack on 3 engine rooms, and now we are gonna get crushed. Like, it is almost certain that we're gonna get crushed unless our opponent fizzles, which isn't likely to happen because they have switched and gotten rid of their defensive building damage. They have all offense. We are probably going to lose. Need to get this account to 5 engine rooms in a big, big hurry. I'm going to go from both sides. We are going to drop you over there and you late. We're going to drop that rifles on that right-hand side fairly late. Need to get those rifles up, but not let those flamethrowers kill them. And now we should be good. Fairly well timed and placed smokes. That boom cannon did get 1 shot away, but that is all. And this is where not having artillery is a complete and utter pain in the butt. Also notice that we do not have artillery or barrage, so we just need to place our troops wisely and then just keep them moving forwards in a big, big, big way. So we're gonna do something like that, hoping to get those dudes up underneath there. Really, really hoping that we have at least 1 cannon there somewhere. And let's get a shock over here and some more critters. Critters gonna be very, very useful at moving us on forwards, but not super duper sexy here. This is the opposite of sexy, but our opponent has retreated. And that, my friends, is why this account has gone defensive. The only stress while attacking on this account is stress that I've brought on myself, because you can just go slow and win even 50% of the time, because there's a lot of defensive tools at your disposal. So this attack, I would rate it about a 0 out of 10. We literally just dropped our troops. I mean, over here, we used a smart smoke to keep those riflemen alive and out of the range of that flamethrower, but otherwise we just walked our troops through. By the way, I do highly recommend using those smokes on the flamethrower. I'll show you exactly where I'm clicking, because I found that you can basically estimate the range of that flamethrower by doing so. We picked up the win. I beat Camp a couple times this season. Sorry, Camp. First win of the season, first win of the day. And I talked about where to throw that smoke. I like to throw it right at the front corner of the flamethrower. That gets most of your riflemen alive and safe underneath the flamethrower without smoking your tanks or your Zookas or whatever the heck it might be. I also do that when there's a boom cannon and it's shooting towards heavy Zookas. That way I keep my heavies underneath the smoke because you want to keep your heavies alive. You know what, we'll do one more. I feel kind of silly doing one more on the defensive slow account, but I need to put some time into this account, get those chests. As you can see here, we're at 83 of 90. That's going to bump us up to 103 and then 123, and we are going to be... Are we going to get there? I think that we are. If I can claim both of these in gold, we're going to be able to get to Barrage with one key to spare, which is going to be huge for me. That is, of course, unless we go back and get cannons. I don't see myself going backwards, though. So Barrage in 2 chests, ideally in 3 attacks, but who the heck knows. So last one of the day, we are going to be at the mercy of this person's base. These bases have gotten better and better. Those shock mines in the middle, plus those shock launcher on the far left. This is going to be a bit of a tricky one. Yes, indeed. So this is where going grenadiers instead of instead of rifles might be the best way to do this. Not feeling good about this attack at all, but we are gonna do our darndest. We're gonna get those tanks up. We're gonna go all from this left hand side because I know that all of those mines in the middle are gonna do all sorts of bad stuff. And now that we've got those tanks rocking and rolling, we are gonna get all of our grenadiers on this side, and those tanks are going to take the fury from that mortar. Our grenadiers are going to chuck over top, and we're going to have our shocks ready in a big way. Look at that, though. Already getting some great value out of those grenadiers. Critters out front. Don't have to worry too much about the boom cannons in behind quite yet. And now we can get a shock on this left-hand side. Getting some critters out in front. Doing decently so far. I wouldn't call this good quite yet, but we're definitely doing decently. Everspark's going to get us some more critters. Those are going to clear a bunch of mines. We've got our tanks out front. These are all very good things. Our opponent has only gotten 1 engine room so far, so things are looking up in that regard as well. And the only way this could get better is if, there we go, couple tanks turn towards the right. These are all very good things, but I don't know that I want to split my resources too much. You know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let those tanks head off to their own peril. We're going to try to keep them alive with a smoke temporarily, but I don't think we have enough goodness here that we can spare any shocks on that right hand side. So we need to focus on this left hand side for the second. Need to get our troops onto those engine rooms bit by stinking little bit. Everspark, don't get shot in the face, please. Getting our critters out to clear all of those mines beautifully. And now hoping that we can get our cannon and our Grens onto that shock launcher fairly soon. More likely, it's going to be our critters eating that shock launcher down. That sounded almost rude. Nonetheless, because we didn't waste any GBE over here, we're going to come around the horn in here in a second, and our critters are going to clear those mines, hopefully. It's going to be tight, though. Really depends on when Everspark decides she needs to make some more critters. We've got enough GBE here to throw 1 shock towards this stuff at the last possible second. Getting that shock out absolutely perfectly timed. Pretty darn happy with that. And now we are hopefully gonna pick up the win here. Those critters distracting that boom cannon, and that choice to leave these 2 tanks on that right hand side was really what made the difference. 52 seconds, not super quick, but at the very least we picked up a win against another name that I do recognize. So I talked about it quickly, but we'll just double check it. Had we have used our GBE to protect those tanks, we probably could have got this engine room down, but then we likely would have failed to the Doom Cannon and Shock Launcher. So two different troop combos that you can use. Do consider bringing Grenadiers with 2 boats of tanks. Yes, you are going to lose lots and lots of troops, but you saw just how many mines we cleared, and we ended up having all of our tanks alive up until that point in the attack. So Everspark's Critter Swarm doing great things. I think that, you know what, we'll do one PvP attack simply because we're here and might as well. Let's just pick a random base. Susie Durkins has been on my map probably for 6 months, if not longer, simply because I love that name. If you don't know what sort of Susie, you know what, you could tell me what Susie Durkins is from as a way to enter the contest if you couldn't find any names of any songs that I dropped, because Susie Durkins, absolute beast. Just such a good name. I gotta say that the names in Boom Beach, I don't know if it's the fact that they gave people the ability to change their names using diamonds or not, but the names in Boom Beach have been so good of late. Things that come to mind are, what is it? Oh man. Sorry, brain drawing a blank. Anyways. Ships Ahoy, Squiggles McGee. Oh, there's one I'm trying to think. It's like Primal Prey or something. Anyways, there's lots of great names in Boom Beach. If you have a favorite, throw it down there in the comments. This video, not as long as originally promised, but we got, what, 4 wins on warships? Maybe? An Operation Attack win, which is debatable whether or not a fail is a win or not, but it was fun, and that's all that matters to me. So Imitation Game, boring, needs an update. Mortar's speed, broken, needs an update. More importantly, though, Task Force versus Task Force. The number of times I've seen an operation like this, where it's at 11 attacks, for example, and there are 47 people in the Task Force. That, to me, tells me that Warships, A, is fun, obviously. This is a task force that's dedicated to warships, but this season, more than any, those free diamonds are required, and if task forces were a little bit more fun, we would have all the more people attacking them, more diamonds to switch, and Supercell, I really hope you got something fun up your sleeves. That is going to be it for me, though. As I mentioned, that button down there in that bottom left-hand corner brings up the shop, in which case you scroll all the way over and make sure you've got code ZMOT involved. If you're playing Brawl Stars, you just started the new season, Year of the Dragon, hit me up in the comments. I've got a Brawl Pass Plus to give away to you. But back to Boom Beach. Keep booming those beaches, attack your op, keep your submarine diving, keep those supply chests flowing. More importantly, though, hit me up in the comments. I'm ZMOT. Thank you for coming in, liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, and all the rest. Also, to those of you who support the channel in the end screen, thank you so much. I'm ZMOT. Thanks for coming in. Peace.